Here we are again with another chapter from the book Ask and It Is Given. And today we are going to go through chapter 19. And this is a really important chapter for a lot of people because it is about money and creating abundance. The chapter is called Releasing Resistance to Become Free of Debt. But it's more than that, as Abraham explains. So Abraham says over here, when you want to experience the relief of being debt-free, when you want to create a larger spread between what you earn and what you spend, when you want to feel better about money, when you want to increase the flow of money through your experience. So it really boils down to creating abundance. That's what this process is all about. And then Abraham suggests that the best time to do this process is when you are between 10 on the emotional scale and 22. So 10 is frustration and impatience. 22 is grief, depression, despair, and powerlessness. So what I want to add to this is that many years ago when I was going through a time of difficulty, I did this process and I can vouch for it personally. It worked so well that in a very short period of time, I was able to look after an unbelievable amount of things. And I think that that was the beginning of me being able to put myself back on my feet. So I know for a fact that this process is powerful, it works, and if you need help, do the process, it will work. Now, Abraham recommends taking a ledger and using the columns in the ledger to write down the amount of debt that you owe and the minimum payment that's required in order for you to meet your commitment. I didn't do it that way. I used Excel and I developed a worksheet on Excel in order to do my planning or use this process. And I can tell you that I still use that worksheet. I still have that worksheet and I still use it. I don't update it as regularly as I used to before, but it has become a key part of my my keeping accounts and doing my own financial planning. So to begin the process of releasing resistance to become free of debt, that's what Abraham says, obtain a columnar writing pad. And then they say, the most important thing I think about doing this process is writing on top. It is my desire to keep my promise regarding all of these financial obligations, and in some cases, I will even do twice as much as required. See, that is the pre-paving. That is the intention. And if you just take your smallest debt, not the smallest payment, but the smallest amount of debt, and you double up on the payment, if possible, or pay something additional into it wherever possible and however much possible, but put all your oomph, everything into that one item of debt. Clean it up completely before you move on to the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. I don't know how it happens, but I know that there's magic in doing that because very quickly you find that things have been looked after and you feel lighter. And as Abraham says, as they talk about this process, is that you look forward to receiving your next bill because it's so much fun to go and put it down in your tracker and to see how things are working out. So the reason this process works is, number one, the intention. Number two, if you just focus on one thing and you clean that up, instead of dispersing your energy and making payments on everything, then it seems like nothing's moving because you're trying to look after all of them. Instead, just do the minimum required on all the rest and pick up one. And the smallest one works well because when you pick up the smallest amount of debt that you owe, you're able to clean it up faster. And once you clean it up, it's gone and that account is closed. You feel better because that's one less company or person or bank that is hounding you for money. So you start feeling better about your situation. And you know that law of attraction is all about feeling better about our situation, right? So that's why this process really works. Abraham says, money that you were not expecting will appear in your experience. Bargains will reveal themselves. So your dollars will go further than you expected. All kinds of unusual financial things will occur, and when they do, be consciously aware that these things are happening in response to your newly focused attention and the resultant shift in your vibration. As extra money appears, you will find yourself eager to apply another payment to that debt that you're putting all your muscle into. So, one of the important things that Abraham says here, and I really want you to hear this because it's so impactful, is that there is nothing wrong with debt. But if your debt feels like a heavy burden, then your vibration around money is one of resistance. When the burden has lifted, when you feel lighter and freer, your resistance has lifted and you are now in the position to allow the well-being to flow abundantly into your experience. So, as in everything else, and I know that this process is about debt, but it's more than that because you can apply what you learn here to anything in your life. As long as you feel lack on any aspect of your life, you can't have an improvement because you kind of feel stuck. And I know that a lot of people feel stuck with respect to money. How is it going to come? Where am I going to come up with money to pay my next bill? And I'm just going to add a little story here that comes to mind because it was very impactful when it happened. And so sometimes in life we bite off more than we can chew. And so I think it was my daughter's 4th birthday, and I had my family invited, and she was excited because at age 4 she knew what a birthday was, and she was looking forward to this birthday cake that she really wanted. I think it was a Barbie doll cake or something like that, and she was looking forward to her gifts and having her grandparents there and her friends from school and all of that. And so I placed this order for a cake, and it was a very expensive designer cake. And I remember when I placed the order, I thought about, oh my God, this is so expensive. And when I said those words, oh my God, this is so expensive, now looking back, I understand that when I did that, I set forth a vibration of lack. And so I had placed the order like a month ahead of time. But as life happened, by the time her birthday came around, I had nothing. Like I literally had nothing. I did not have enough money to go to that bakery and pick up the cake that I had placed an order for. And the day before her birthday, I started getting nervous. And I tried to remind myself that somehow something will work out. I don't know what it will be, but somehow something will work out. And I tried to keep myself calm. I tried to keep myself immersed in work so that I wouldn't go and think that thought. And then as I was working, somebody called me from the front and said, oh, there's someone here to see you. We don't know who it is. They didn't give their name. Can you come out? And so, I was not in a public facing role. So I was confused. I didn't think that anyone would come and see me at my work. So I went out there, and there was someone who I had known from working in a previous organization. And this was a really poor person, and they had some money trouble a couple of years ago. Before I left that organization and came to this new place of work, I had lent this person money, something like $2,000, the equivalent of $2,000. And then I completely forgot about it because I gave it to him. I had it at that time. I gave it to him because he really needed it, and I moved on. And my thing to him was, give it back to me when you have it. And so I don't know how he found out where I worked, because I don't think I told him when I left that organization where I was going. But he showed up at my work with all the money in an envelope, and he handed that to me, and he was eternally grateful that I had been able to help him out. And I was eternally grateful to receive that money at that point in time. Not only did it solve the problem of me being able to go and pick up the cake, but it was like many times more, right? So yes, I didn't order a $2,000 cake. So the point I want to make is that the universe has the ability to bring us what we want in unexpected ways that we cannot even fathom if we just try to distract ourselves from the problem. And I realize now, as I look back on it, that all the time that I tried to take my mind off the problem, I was doing just that. I was immersing myself in my work. I was saying, I don't know how this will work out, but something will happen. I'll make it work. I don't know how it will happen, but I'll make it work. Those were the thoughts that were going through my head. And in the end, it all worked out in perfection, in a way much better than I could ever have orchestrated. This option would never have occurred to me. It was not even anywhere on the map, right? And so that's what I want you to take away. If we just relax and give things up to the universe, then it is when we give up control, when we don't try and figure it out. See, that's the difference. If we try and figure it out, and we try to figure out how we're going to do something, then we are trying to keep the control with ourselves. Giving up control is what faith is all about. So when you relinquish control and you say, I don't know how it's going to happen, I just have to believe that it will happen, and you let it go, that's when the universe is able to act on your behalf. So coming back to what Abraham is talking about, it's all about vibration. When we do this process that Abraham is teaching us, what is happening is we are changing our vibration. We are going from feeling bad about the amount of debt we have to actually feeling excited. And I can tell you, I was excited because in just 8 or 9 months, I had made a big enough dent that it was showing up. It was showing up in smaller, lower payments, and it was showing up because I was feeling lighter. I was feeling good. Oh, that is gone now. I don't have to worry about that anymore. So my vibration improved, and within 2 years, I was completely debt-free. Aside from my mortgage, I had paid off everything else. And after being in debt for a very long time and not having enough funds to cover all my needs, that was a huge relief. Okay. So then Abraham moves on, and they say, as mentioned in process 17, which we will get to later on because we're working backwards, remember? It is as easy to create a castle as a button. The only thing that makes the castle bigger is that in our minds, we think it's bigger. That's all. So Abraham says it is just a matter of whether you are focused on a castle or a button. But it can also be satisfying to create a button as a castle. And whether it is a castle or a button, if you are using it as your object of attention, it is summoning the life force And the feeling of the life force is what life is about. It's that feeling of energy flowing. It's that feeling of excitement. It's that feeling of looking forward to the next day. It's that feeling of looking forward to the adventure that the next day is about to bring us. That's what it's all about. Okay, so what about creating a very positive current of financial abundance? What about getting so good at visualizing that the money flows through you easily? What about expending money and giving more people opportunity? See, that's what it's all about. They say money is the root of all evil. I don't think so. I think that the lack of money is the root of all evil. Because think about it. It's when people are driven because they don't have enough to satisfy their needs. That's when they turn towards all sorts of criminal activities. That's when they turn towards grabbing it from someone else. The absence of abundance is the root of all evil. When you have abundance, you're able to do more, not only for yourself, but for those people that you care about. When you have more to give, you can make the world a better place for so many people. When you have more money, that's when you can employ other people to work for you. And by doing so, you're adding to the well-being of the world, to the well-being of another family. You're adding to that. And isn't that absolutely wonderful? And then Abraham goes on to say that there is no high or low work. There's no job that is demeaning. There's no humiliation or insult in doing one job versus another job. I know that that's something that a lot of cultures promote, a lot of societies promote. Oh, you shouldn't do that. That's not a job for women to do, or that's not a respectable job to do. All of that is just full of crap, seriously. Because who cares what you have to do if you're able to make money through it, right? All sorts of professions are full of people who make amazing amounts of money through those professions. Shitloads of money. Absolutely. And I've seen that personally. And it just amazes me, the creativity of people to find avenues to generate an income is just fabulous. It's just absolutely fantastic. And so don't think about what other people are going to say. When you start thinking, oh, this job is beneath me, what you're really saying is that what people think about me is more important than my being able to put food on the table for my family. That's really what you're saying. I will not do that job because it's demeaning. When you say something is beneath me, basically you're looking at yourself through the eyes of the peanut gallery, through other people. And they're not going to come and pay your bills for you. They're not going to come and feed you and your family every day. So who cares what they think? It doesn't matter. If you have to do whatever you need to do, do it. Because at least then you're earning what is called an honest income, which actually feels good because you're not taking it away from anyone else. And that's the thing to understand, that the only way that you will ever think about engaging in any sort of criminal activity to get money from other people is if you're really low down on the emotional scale. And if you're really low down on the emotional scale, you might take it, but you will feel bad about it. And because you feel bad about it, your future is not going to get better, because by feeling bad, you're attracting more stuff that's going to keep you where you are, which is low on the emotional scale. So, law of attraction is just like that. The only people who get robbed are the people who are low on the emotional scale and therefore they meet up with the robber who is also low on the emotional scale. That is just law of attraction. So if you stop living your life here and you improve your life the way you feel and you go up here, well, then you start living your life in a bubble. Nothing uninvited can enter when you're in this space. Okay, moving along. Everything about this physical manifestational experience is spiritual. And so you know what? A lot of people say money is not spiritual, right? But that's not the case. Money is actually the most spiritual thing. Being able to be abundant and allow money is one of the most spiritual things that you can do. And the reason is more money will only come to you when you're up here. And when you're up here, you are one with God. You are one with the universe. So how is that not spiritual? Manifesting is the most spiritual thing that you can do because it means that you're lined up with Source. So comment below. Comment below. Money is the most spiritual thing you can do. Allowing money is the most spiritual thing I can do. Comment that below. Allowing money is the most spiritual thing I can do. And that's what it's all about. It is about allowing it as opposed to resisting it. How do we resist it? We resist it by making up excuses that are absolutely have no foundation, right? Things like if you've ever thought that money was the root of all evil, if you've ever been someone who have thought that people who have a lot of money are rude and uncaring and selfish, well then how do you expect the universe to give you money? Because you've just said, I want more money, but more money is going to make me into a bad person because when I have lots of money, I'm going to become like those people because you've put a label on them. So it's not going to happen because you have to appreciate those people in order to become like them. You cannot become like someone that you hate, that you despise, that you keep sending negative energy to, right? Okay, so Abraham says spiritual versus material are not the choices. Everything about this physical manifestational experience is spiritual. It is all the end product of spirit. You have nothing to prove. Be the spiritual you and create like a physical fiend. I like that. Don't you want to be a physical fiend? Comment below. Physical fiend. Yay! All right. And so what I want you to take away from this is that everything is about vibration. It doesn't matter which subject in your life takes you up here. If you can bring yourself up here, and this is what I explained yesterday in process number 20, is that if you can bring yourself up here to the feeling of abundance, you can do that by appreciating the abundance of air. You can do that by appreciating the abundance of good friends in your life. You can do that by appreciating the abundance of flowers in the world. It doesn't matter. Just focus on all the different types of abundance that is around you that you can appreciate, and then abundance of money will come as well, because abundance means that you're attracting abundance of all sorts of things by appreciating those things that you already have in abundance. Okay. And then Abraham says your financial decline will not elevate the impoverished. So it doesn't matter that other people are poor, so you should also become poor, because like Abraham says, you can't get sick enough to make other people feel better. You can't become poor enough to make other people thrive, because thriving and well-being is an individual thing. It is individual to us. Everyone can thrive and everyone can attract complete and absolute well-being, because it's an inside job. And what they say is completely true. Joy is very much an inside job. Okay. So Abraham says you cannot get poor enough to help the impoverished people thrive. It is only in your own thriving that you have anything to offer anyone. If you want to be of help to others, be as tapped in, tuned in, and turned on as you can possibly be. And I'll tell you something. A lot of people in the past, motivational teachers, etc., Zig Ziglar, I used to listen to him a lot, and a lot of others have said, if you want to be like someone, find that person and ask them to mentor you, or hang out with them. Hang out with the kind of people that you want to become. Act like them, dress like them, behave like them. Because as you set out that vibration, then you attract things that are in keeping with that vibration. And so, if you were to hold a high vibration that was close to source, you would communicate that vibration to everyone who came in contact with you. Haven't you come away from meeting someone and thinking to yourself, oh, that was a really nice person. What a lovely person that was. Right? And why is that? It's because you don't even know this person, but they're vibrating. They're vibrating with love. They're welcoming. They're full of joy. They are open towards you. And that's what you want to be for other people, because when you are unconditional and loving and open, you set out a vibration that helps other people have hope. It's a vibration that brings other people up the emotional scale. And when we can help other people go up the emotional scale, that is when we truly have value. Okay. So let's move along. Abraham says, money is not the root of happiness, but it is not the root of evil either. Money is the result of how somebody lines up energy. If you do not want money, do not attract it. Simple. Because not wanting money is also a desire, and any desire that you hold, the universe is capable to yield it to you. Now, these are really important words, at least I thought that they were. If the subject of money makes you uncomfortable when you think about it, it means that there's a strong desire related to it, which means that it really, really, really matters. So finding a way to think about it and feel good is your work. You got to find a way to think about money and feel good rather than think about money and feel bad. Success is about the joy you feel. So ultimately speaking, success is not in the amount of money that we have. People can live in a very big house and be very lonely. So it's not just about the money, but money is important because money makes us comfortable. And when you are comfortable, the chances that you can be happier are more. But ultimately speaking, you can have very little and still be joyful. And that's what Abraham is saying over here. The standard of success in life is not the money or the stuff. The standard of success is absolutely the amount of joy you feel. And I know that. I remember as a child looking out the window of my apartment and seeing children playing in garbage dumps, literally. But they were so happy. They had huge, big smiles on their faces and they were laughing and having a great time. And I was cooped up inside and I thought, how lucky are they, right? Instead of earning abundance, allow your abundance. Money is not to be earned. Money is to be allowed. There's a subtle difference. You know why there's a subtle difference? It's because when you say, I have to earn this, that involves hard work or work. Whereas when you say, I have to allow this, there's no hard work in that. Allowing is not about working hard. Your action has nothing to do with your abundance. Your abundance is a response to your vibration. That's it. Of course, your belief is part of your vibration. So, if you believe that action is part of what brings you abundance, then you have to first deal with that belief before you can stop working hard. So, like a lot of people say, okay, so the secret says I shouldn't work hard and all I have to do is visualize and then the thing that I want will come. Yes, it's absolutely possible that it can come. But if you have a belief that is blocking it from coming because the belief says it can't come, you've got to work hard for it, you can't go against that belief because beliefs have a lot of power. We call that power momentum. So unless you work on that belief and get rid of it, it will always get in the way. Okay, all the resources you will ever want or need are at your fingertips. All you have to do is identify what you want to do with it and then practice the feeling place of what it will be like when that happens. Isn't all visualization about that? And you don't have to visualize yourself with a lot of money. In fact, it's better if you don't do that because visualizing money might have some resistance associated with it. Instead, visualize yourself as happy. Visualize yourself as telling someone who is near and dear to you how blessed you feel because life is so easy for you, that you've come such a long way and that you're eager for what other adventures life has in store for you. If you can visualize that image and give all your energy and attention to that, then just sit back and allow the universe to bring you all the things that have to happen in between in order to get you there. What goes wrong is when people visualize something and then they start trying to make it happen. None of this is about making it happen. All of it is about allowing it to happen. Okay, so Abraham ends this chapter by saying, savor more, fix less. Laugh more, cry less. Anticipate positively more, anticipate negatively less. Nothing is more important than that you feel good. Just practice that and watch what happens. Okay, folks, that's it for tonight. That is our completing another chapter from this amazing book. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you tomorrow with another chapter. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment below. I will do my best to look after all your questions. Take care, folks. Love you lots and see you in my next video tomorrow night. Bye for now.